raggedy ass mine up. Okay. I so was not ready for that. I was drinking my cucumber lemon ginger water. I was listening to the music, partying backstage. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Hookah Lounge. You know you always catch Didi off guard. Welcome, welcome back. I'm so happy to be back. I know I was gone for a little while. Life was life in me, and I had to adjust everything, but I am back. Happy to be back. Blessed to be back with everything that was going on. So thank you for hanging in there with me. But I am back, and we have a great show tonight. I've been so excited to do this show. We are supposed to do this show 2 weeks ago, and I'm glad that we are back. And I have my niece with me, Tasha. She is the expert on credit and credit repair and things like that. I know a little bit about credit. I know how to adjust credit and try to have good credit. I set all my sons into the world with good credit. So what they did with it after that is they all pretty much have good credit. Even the little 23-year-old has good credit. So Tasha's been here before. If you don't remember, this is my little mini me. Say hello, Tasha.
Hi guys.
So she has no nicknames, no weird names like Dee, but okay. But she's gonna enlighten us on everything. I do want to make a toast tonight with my coffee. Shout out to Nate Love. She's my coffee girl. I want to just test. I want to toast tonight to someone that I lost that was very special to me. I'm doing it with coffee. We were really, really close, and I had to say goodbye to her last weekend. So, to my girl Yvette, love you dearly, and her girls and her wonderful husband. So I'm toasting to my girl Yvette tonight. Love you, girl. We will meet again. Till we meet again. Is that the saying? Till we meet again. So that's
Right.
to Yvette. That was my friend, man. I loved her. So we're not gonna start with sadness. I'm gonna do a show on life insurance. I was at the what is it with the after thing? Anyway,
Hmm.
everybody was a life insurance agent.
That's the same thing in Abuelita's.
She was at Abuelita's
Yeah.
funeral.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
hounded me too.
That's her.
She wasn't playing, no games. Um,
And it's crazy how I met her. Eric, when he was like 6, he was giving her goo goo eyes at the Vallarta. So that's how we met because of Eric, and we ended up becoming really good friends.
yeah, she's really
So
nice, but she doesn't play any games. Yeah.
no, she doesn't. So like losing her
Mm-mm.
was kind of crazy, man.
Wait,
You know,
she died?
that's the one. She passed away. Yeah,
That's the one who's at Abuelita's funeral was selling life insurance?
that's
What?
her.
Wow.
I
Whoa.
know, crazy, right?
That is
And
very
she was such
crazy.
a go-getter. She was so much fun. I mean, like, the husband doesn't hang out with anybody. And we used to go out, me, her, and her husband and the husband, and he don't hang out. He don't even hang out with Auntie Auntie Loida. He don't even hang out with them. Like, he don't hang out with no he's like a mystery. Like, my co-host Lala, she's supposed to be here tonight. Hey Adolphus, Shalom. Yeah, he don't Lala was here for Passover. Like the next day, she texted me. She was like, "Was that your husband sitting catty corny for me?" Like he's like so mysterious. Nobody knows.
I
But he
understand.
was no. But people like, do you? I think you lying about that husband of yours. I think you done made him up.
No, he there.
I really do. I really do have one.
Yeah, you do. Mhm.
He's
Serious
quiet in
guy.
the background. He don't talk to too many people. Hey, you start talking about
Serious
the Raiders.
guy.
Yeah,
Yes.
he'll talk about the Raiders.
Very observant. Yes. You just pay attention. That's
Yeah,
all. Hmm.
yeah. So I just wanted to toast her out because she was a really
That's
cool
so
person.
crazy. Yeah. She hounded me for months. I love her.
Daniel had just called me and was like, "Send her my number. I need to
Mhm.
talk to her." Like she does our finances, she does our life insurance
Awesome.
thing, like Eric's
She was
college
so
fund.
nice. Yeah.
He did everything.
And she
Yeah,
was
she was
very young
amazing.
she was very beautiful and she was
I
so
know.
young.
A
I
month
don't
younger than
understand.
me. Yeah, she was so
That
cool
is
because like
crazy.
her birthday is on little David's anniversary of his death, so she would always be like, "I want you to think about me today." You know what I mean? Like, so she was always amazing, really, really wonderful
That's
person. So I am going to
crazy.
do a show on life insurance because a lot of people that have been passing away lately don't have life insurance.
That's true.
So,
That's
I
very
want
true.
and Abuelita didn't tell me hers had lapsed, so we had to pay cash for all of that. So,
I remember
you
that
know,
too. That was
yes.
crazy.
So we're gonna get into that next month. We're gonna do a special show on that so that I can try to help people because I sold life insurance for a while, and that was like the highlight of
It's
my
worth
day helping
it.
a family.
Yeah.
It is, and I always say, if you put down the Starbucks, you can afford it. You
You
know,
really can. It's
that's
not
what
expensive for a really
mm-mm,
really nice size too.
I
Payout.
know,
It sucks,
and I
but you
used
need it.
you too. The one bill you need to have. But I used to go to Starbucks every day before work, and when they sat down and put how much money I was like, okay, that's a bill.
Right? Mm.
So we are definitely going to get into this credit thing and just my little experience and then we're going to get into how you repair all the credit. With me with the credit thing, I always made sure my sons I started their credit at 18 because the longevity of credit is always the best thing that you can have. So I always got my sons a
Right.
credit card. They didn't even know that they had. Well, Eric didn't know he had one. With my boys, I always facilitated the credit with them is when you get your credit card, you never run it like usually your first credit card is $500 and you
Mhm.
never use $500. You maybe use
Never.
yeah, I would always tell my kids it's 50 to $100 a month, and then
That's
you may
it.
pay all of it, but 25, just so you have a little bit sitting on there showing that you use your card, and then you pay most of it off, but maybe $25, just to show that revolving credit
Exactly. Exactly.
to build that credit. And if you start as young as 18, then by the time you're ready to buy a house, they show the longevity of having a credit. And I always
Paying it.
taught my
Yeah.
sons. So whenever they bought their cars, they always had very low interest rates. All my kids have always had 700 or close to 700 credit ratings because the way I taught them how to do their credit. Because I have bought houses, I usually pay cash for my cars because unless I wanted to establish, like I go to my credit union and finance very little of it just to establish some type of credit. And like I was telling you, at one point my credit was so good they would just send you the card and all you have to do is activate it. And at one point I
That's
had
true.
50.
When it's really good, yes. And that gets you in trouble as well because they're too trusting. Right. Too many offers.
And you get so many of them at one point I
Mhm.
had 15. And this is where we're
Mhm.
gonna go with the mistake I made. It was I had so many credit cards that I just said, okay, I'm about to just start closing them and not use them anymore. And this is where I messed up my credit.
Another
Because that
problem. Yeah, that's another problem.
right.
Closing
And
it.
that's
Yeah.
the worst thing to do. The best thing is to just pay them off and don't use them.
Exactly.
Yeah. So and when I saw my credit take a dive, I was just utterly shocked. Like from closing your credit card.
Mhm.
So that's a mistake that we make, not knowing any better. I know how to get good credit. I didn't know that you could mess up your credit.
I learned that
So,
late as well. We weren't taught that, and I learned it late by working in my trade. So,
mm,
mhm.
so I want you to, after my bad experiences on not, I know how to get good credit, not knowing how not to mess up your credit. And there's some other mistakes that I made that I'll talk about, but I want you to talk about what do you do once you mess up your credit?
Mm. I work for Barclays, which is a very old credit card banking company. We basically fund the accounts. All right, we fund credit cards for all like major retail stores. Um, and they've been in business for like 330 years. And I'm an account manager in collections. Um, And I've learned a lot of trade just by working in my trade in collections for like the last 10 years. Um, and over the years, didn't start off with good credit, but over the years of learning the trades and the ins and outs of, building, and it's just, and I started off probably with like a 400 and something credit score. I turned 18. You didn't let me know. You let the boys know, but you didn't tell me anything. And my mom, she wasn't aware as well. So
Well,
when
you
I
have
turned,
to remember, I
mhm,
didn't have my own credit when you lived with us because I had just divorced David. All the credit was in his name. So I didn't
true,
have any credit. Yeah.
true. And it in the day, how I was, Auntie. I was a wild child. I was gone. So I wouldn't have received it anyways if you were to have taught it to me. But as I got older and wiser, and when I turned 18, I ruined my credit. First thing I did was buy unlimited stuff. I knew I can use it when I went to the first store and it was over. Just kept trying, getting bedroom sets, getting cards. Um,
Yeah.
and just over the years, like I just finally wanting to buy something, wanting to, get a low interest loan on a car, or finding out that the better your credit is, the lower your interest rate is, the more they trust you, the less you have to put down, the less that you pay. Saying I have a 500 credit score, they'll still got to give you a car with a high deposit, but still you're still paying that high deposit down. Plus you're paying $30,000 for a car that everyone else, they had a good credit score and good stand in good standing with, multiple things. They're paying the price of the car, and paying a lower interest rate, having a lower actual payment that, is suitable for that car, um,
Yeah.
but just have like, I don't like what I used basically to work with my credit was I started off with these two apps that I tell everybody about that, really changed my life. They're called Ava and Kickoff. What they do is basically say you have like a credit card, and you owe probably say $5,000 to one credit card, you owe $1,000 to another credit card. What you do is get these apps, and they give you basically a credit card that's saying that you have a 5,000 or a $6,000 limit. You're not able to use that card, but they're still reporting to the credit bureaus that you're paying it on time, saying that you're only using 10% of that card usage. So basically, it offsets all the other things that you owe. So basically, it's showing that instead of having what you have already that you've used, say you have $8,000 in credit, but you're using 7,500, it gives you another 5,000 on top of that. So now you have 5,500 left over from your total credit card usage, and it jumps your credit score back up. Um,
Okay.
if that makes sense. So
Yeah. So,
that's
hey,
one thing that did
if
help
you
me.
right, that's amazing. Oh
Yeah.
wow.
Then another thing is I would, also say I owed anything, or I would try to call and make minimum payments. Make sure that
Yeah.
you're at least paying that credit card on time.
Oh, the
If you
payment
don't
on
pay it
time
in full,
is amazing.
paying it on time, whatever
Because
you
that's
do owe.
another thing. They do
Mhm.
report, like, I always have on my credit card statements, my TRWs, that I always pay my cards on time. That is the number one
Exactly.
thing that they look at, is that you're
That's
paying
the
on
number
time.
one thing they look at is paying it on
Yeah,
time. Even if you're paying the minimum,
yeah,
it's better to pay the minimum than not pay anything at all. And also paying off one card at a time. If you do
yeah,
have you're in debt, paying off at least one at a time, showing good standing that you're at least paying that off, and also using those apps as well to
yeah,
help offset with your credit card usage.
yeah.
Hmm.
Because TRW looks at your credit card usage and your payment
Hmm.
history. Those are 2 things.
Exactly. Two
If
biggest
you
things.
right, whatever your credit score is, you could have a 700 credit score,
Hmm.
but they're looking at your credits usage and they're looking at your payment history. Those are two very
Exactly.
big things. So, and
Big
I
things
was
that are
going to
going to
ask
give you
you,
money. Yeah. Mhm.
right? You used to work for a collection agency where you called people to pay back the collection agency, like, oh, you owe this amount of money. Tell me what it is that you can do. Like, if someone calls me right now and says, hey, you owe $3,500 on a credit card, and I tell you, hey, you could sue me because and take one of my kids because I don't have
Don't say that.
$3,500.
Yeah, that's the problem people have. They get scared
Yeah.
when we call. And I still call. I still call. I'm an account manager, I still call. But the thing about it is the best thing you can do is not run. The best
Mhm.
thing you can do is to answer the phone and say, "Hey, wrong number." It's better. I'm serious. Better than telling us that you cannot pay. If you're
Mhm.
saying that you cannot pay, we're going to sue you. If you're saying you're not willing to pay, we're going to put you in a do not pay, and we're going to do a litigation and a legal finding and see what you have that we can get money from. The best thing to do is not to say you cannot pay. It's either to say wrong number or try to negotiate or, say a hardship that you're having or something like that. But the best thing to really do is if you don't say nothing at all, we'll leave you alone. It's the people that say, I'm not paying you nothing. I'm not
Right.
giving you nothing. You can sue me. We're going to sue you
Right.
just for
So
you
what's the
saying that.
thing what's the best thing to say? Let's say, okay, look, I just lost my job. The economy is bad. Tell me what I can do. Like I could pay you $25 a month.
We don't care about that, to be honest. Most credit card companies, if you're on the outside looking, if you're on the inside looking out, they really don't care, to be honest, auntie. They'll tell us, hey, if it could be a 90-year-old woman, and they're saying, oh, well, I can't work anymore. I don't have anybody to help me. We don't really care. We'll try to get you on a payment plan. And if you don't meet the qualification for that payment plan, um, basically you're still going to be racking up interest and late fees. So I would say the best thing to do is to see if that company has like a long-term assistance payment program. But
Mhm.
don't say that I can't pay it. See what they're going to offer you first before you give up. Because some people hang the phone up. They think we're going to offer them this high, amount they have to pay. Or there's also oh yeah, another thing I could tell you really is like, so there's the payment plan and also for settlements. If you wait right before your account is about to charge off, like say you already defaulted, you have made no payments in 6 months, it usually defaults and goes into charge off on that seventh month, which is like
Mhm.
210 days past due. If it gets to that point, if they call and check on your credit cards, call and check them and say, hey, what's my estimated charge off date? And when they give you that estimated charge off date, call us 2 to 3 weeks before that estimated charge off date. Your balance could be $20,000. We're going to offer you basically pennies on a dollar because we want to do something before we send it off to charge off because we know we're not going to get nothing. And then even on that offer, we still will pay. Some people companies are longer. We're 90 days. We'll split
Mhm.
that whatever amount we gave. Say we gave you probably $2,000 or $1,500 on a $20,000 amount.
Mhm.
We'll still charge you, we'll still split that up over 3 months. That's three payments, right?
Mhm.
Sometimes some companies do longer. My bank just does 90 days.
Right.
But it's pretty flexible when you're close to your charge off date. So if you're not willing to pay and you're not going to pay, I would say don't pay nothing because all it's going to do is set it off to where it's going to overlap. It's going to basically start over. You pay that one payment, it buys you more time, but now you're still accruing more interest fees and late fees while you're buying yourself more time. Unless you're paying it in full, don't pay it.
Okay. Now a lot of times people don't realize when they got their credit card, they selected that option like if I get fired or I'm not working.
Oh yeah.
Do a lot of times they get paranoid like, oh, I can't make this credit card payment. So if they call in and say, hey, I got fired, will that, because they selected that option, how will that help them when they call the credit card company? They haven't paid in 3 months.
So that's only well, for that option, you have to let them know that you're not going to pay, that you got fired. So if you do choose that option. Also, I'm not sure how every company works, but it only buys you so much time. It's not a
Okay.
full, it's not gonna just make your credit card. If that's the case, everybody would do it. It's not gonna make it just go. I wish it was that simple, right? Um,
Right.
right. It does help in a sense if you know you're going to get a employment soon. Um, but like it does help in a sense, like if you know for sure you're just having a hard time, you just lost your job and your thing is you're gonna gain employment, like most of us do in about 2 weeks to a month, it'll
Right.
help. But 3 months, I'm not so sure to be honest.
Yeah. So it's not
I don't
real.
see it helping. I don't see it helping longevity because they want their money. Well, we want our money. So
So if they
yeah.
send you a notice that says, a lot of times, but when you're about to charge off, they'll send you a notice that says, these are your options. You can pay half right
Hmm.
now. You can spread over 3 months. It's best to take that option and say, hey, spread this over 3 months, or I can just give you half right now before it sends off to a collection agency.
Call them as well. Like if they send you an offer in the mail, most likely you can call them and still negotiate. And then if they'll give you more options if you call us than what we will give you on paper. On
Okay.
paper, we're just trying to see if you're going to bite the bait and send the money in. Um, so most people, if you just call, you'll get a better deal. Like we'll really just sell it for pennies on a dollar, like not even half of it, like maybe like 20%.
Yeah. And
Hmm.
ignoring it. I mean, and like getting your credit back once you've ignored it for so long, it takes a certain amount of time to get those things. Like, what is it, 7 years now to get it off your TRW?
7 to 10 years.
Yeah,
It can start over. They say 7 years, but it could really go up to 10 years.
yeah. And a
Um,
lot of times that what they'll do is they'll keep selling it to another company so that it starts over again. So you got to really watch that. And there's a ways to dispute that when they do
it
that.
is. It
Yeah, because
is.
Sprint tried to do that to me. They pissed me off so bad. I took all my Sprint accounts over to T-Mobile.
Mhm.
And I was like, "Who me? Sprint was
That's
so
another thing I
terrible."
forgot, Auntie. That's another good thing to do. Before you pay anything, go down that list on Credit Karma and dispute everything.
Yeah,
Dispute
I
all of
did
it.
that. I disputed
And see what
Sprint
comes back.
because they got Sprint so good. They couldn't come after me more. I disputed them because they didn't. When they started my account, I don't know why they didn't spell my name right. Like
Oh, that's a
I don't,
mistake. Yep, there you go.
I don't even know who this person is.
You can do
So
that as well.
they got stuck with that. I took all those numbers over to T-Mobile, and I used my new name when I took it over. But they had my old name, and of course, nobody knows how to spell Hairston. So when they started my account, they literally did not spell my name right. So when I disputed it, TRW was like, "That's not even her name.
Right. And they
Who
have to
is
take
this
and
person?"
they have to honor that. They have to honor it. That's a big oops for them. Sprint's like the easiest company though. Sprint and like phone bills, you can
Yeah,
easily like if anybody can really like credit cards are more sticky.
yeah,
Phone bills, come on. You can
yeah,
say, hey, I didn't authorize that. Stop
yeah.
playing with me.
Oh yeah, that was really funny. I know they were so pissed off.
Hmm. So debt collectors, they be serious. They be mad.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
they want their
But
they want
they
that bonus.
Yeah, but
Yes.
you know, it was their own fault because I paid my bill and then they charged me twice for the same bill and then tried to say that they didn't do it. And I got bank statements to say not only did you charge me, but you charged Daniel the same exact amount of money. So either you're gonna refund me or you're gonna refund him, and they refused to refund any and then didn't count one payment. I said, okay, I got you. While the bill was still current, I took all
They don't
those
know how
phone
smart
numbers.
you are. They don't know how smart you are.
And then got them off my TRW. It was hilarious. So, but Sprint is a whole different ball game. Hey, G-Lu, drop one of those videos, if you can, that I posted. But it's the one thing that they do like to do is if you do get reported to a collection agency, they will sell it so that it stays on your TRW.
They
It's
will.
very Yeah, and it's very easy to dispute those because all you have to do is show this is the same bill from the last time. And
Yeah, they'll
disputing
try to
those,
they'll try to it's they will if they can't collect on it and they keep calling you, they'll try to just sell it for somebody else just to get some money. And then the other person will become desperate, you know?
yeah.
The other collection agency.
And dispute it, a lot is sometimes people say, well, if I dispute it, nothing's going to happen. They have 30 days to respond to you after you dispute it off your TRW. And a lot of times they have so many collection agencies, they forget to respond to you. And it's easy to get them taken off that way. So always dispute anything on your TRW to have those things taken off. And that's the first way. A lot of Credit Karma, I think, is free. Go through them. And then make sure
Yeah,
that they don't have,
they really work. I love Credit Karma.
yeah. Yeah, because they added something to Eric's TRW that didn't belong, and I went and disputed. I don't know how many Eric Shannons are in the world, but I disputed it and they took it off because his score dropped like 30, 40 points for somebody else's credit card. So, and I disputed it. Yeah, because Eric had his credit score was 7 something, and it dropped down to almost 5 for somebody else's credit. Maybe his daddy
What?
used his. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Did add that senior.
I got that
The
Nick.
same name? That's crazy.
So I got that Nick. So I don't mess around with his credit, So I always make
Yeah, Credit
sure.
Karma is pretty good. Like I love like for it to be free. It also like when I was building my credit, I've had Credit Karma for years. As I was building my credit, and like I said, going on there, I disputed everything. Whatever came back, that's what I would either resolve or see if I could do a pay to delete. Another thing to do as well. You can also settle the account and also ask that company because most companies do it, some don't.
Yeah.
you can say, hey, if I settle this, will you delete it off my credit?
Yeah.
The ones that say no, pay it in full.
Yeah.
So that way, yes, pay it in full. But the ones who do settle it, and never take the first offer when they ask you to settle. Try to get it, say, can you go any lower? At least offer something to see if they say yes or no. Or they'll come closer to that. Offer the
Yeah.
lowest that you can. And then see, they'll say, no, I can't offer you this, but I can't take that offer, but I'll offer me 125. I can take 175, you
Yeah.
know? Um, Never let them just offer you something. Always
Oh yeah.
try.
Oh, because
Hmm.
they'll ask you. They'll always try to ask you what you can pay. Don't say what do I have to pay. You give them a number. You can drop a G. Well, I was just talking until it
Has
until the videos
anybody
came up.
ever heard of
Go ahead and
a
drop one.
fraud affidavit, FTC? Fraud affidavit? Fill out a fraud affidavit, FTC, fraud affidavit. It's online. If you feel as though things are inaccurate, now you fill that out, but before you do that, I'm gonna give you a little trick here. Do you know that you can go into Experian, into the privacy area, and you can shut down all 50, 60 bureaus and you don't even have to pay for it? And click in that privacy area and it'll all pop and hit one button and boom, and then opt out of all of those so they have no place to check. And if you feel things are inaccurate, then go in and follow that FTC report and get that stuff off of there. LexisNexis, SageStream. Now, if you have more than 3 inquiries, they're not going to give you the money. If you have an inquiry on your credit and you didn't get anything for it, like they shopped you around for a car, call them up and say, listen, I want that off my credit. I didn't get anything for it. Because the bank is not going to fund you with more than 3 inquiries.
Yeah, and I was trying to find that what he was talking about. It was my
Real, yeah.
Sabbath. Like I
You
bleach.
find
I'm
it?
like I couldn't find it because I was kind of relaxing today. And that popped up. That crazy when you think that this phone isn't listening to you. That popped up on my IG timeline because I had been talking about this all week, and I was like, okay, Siri be listening to you. So it popped up on my timeline. But it is when he tells you to go. There are a lot of ways to go into your TRW to get these things eliminated. So you
He
really
said,
have to.
I'm single. My credit is great. I'm
Who
sorry.
was that? Was that
I'm
Joe?
reading these
Oh,
comments.
that was Joe from Arizona. I'm about
Right.
to put you on. I'm about to set
I
you
feel
up.
you on
I gotta
that.
set you up.
I feel you on
But
that.
people don't realize how important it is to have good credit, though, and that's a blessing. When you have it. What's up, little cuzzo? You
You can get
gotta,
whatever you want.
and a lot of times you don't even realize, like, if sometimes like you're looking at something and you don't realize, like, they will run your credit and you don't even realize it. So those inquiries, if you have too many, will start to count against you because if you have the inquiry and
Mm-hmm.
then you didn't get the card, or you have the
Because
inquiry, like
if
when you go
you
buy a
don't
car,
have the card, exactly. If you got that inquiry and it don't matter after to something that's on your credit, they're gonna tell you no. Because they're gonna say you didn't
yeah,
get that, so why would we trust you to give you this? Oh.
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And when you go look at cards, a lot of times they'll tell you, and they run your credit. You have to tell them, hey, just one time. Don't shop my credit around to 4 and 5 different places because now
And
you
they
have 4 and
do.
5. Yep, and you have 4 and 5 different inquiries, and they'll say, "Oh, inquiries don't matter." Yes, they do.
If they do.
So when yep,
Huh.
if you're trying to buy a house, the same thing. If
It
they
looks
run your credit,
ugly for a while. Yeah.
it does, and it's hard to get those off of there. So when people they say, "Oh, it's a soft inquiry," no, don't soft nothing me. Don't run my credit. And
It
I
still
tell people that
counts.
a lot of times. Yeah, when I'm looking at something, they're like, "Well, what's your social security number?" I don't tell them. I'm not giving you nothing. Oh, we just need the last four. Nope. Don't be so free to give out your social security number because
Yes.
it will really
They lie.
affect your credit.
They will lie. They will
Yeah.
lie.
So those inquiries matter. If you really want a
It's just as
card, then
bad.
you make sure make sure it's the card you want because it has to match up. Oh, they searched their credit, they got the credit card. Save
Exactly.
your credit for
Hmm.
things that you want. Make sure it's what you really want. Make sure it's the car you really want. And you can check your credit. I always tell them, what's your credit score? Oh, hold up, I'll show it to you. I already get my credit score. I don't
That's
need you
true
to
too.
search
Bring a
for it.
printout. Yeah, that's true too. A recent printout. That's true.
Yeah. And Credit Karma is free anytime. And Credit Karma will show you how to, what if your score is low, what it takes to get to bring it back, to bring it up, the tools that it takes to bring it back up. So your credit is very precious to you. Take care of your credit like you take care of your child.
That's true.
You know,
If I'd have known that. Right.
yeah, because like I said, when I bought my house the first time they ran my credit, it was almost 700, and my agent said pay off a couple of things.
Yeah.
And the craziest thing is I had to pay off things that I was never on the first husband's anything, but when we got divorced, it didn't matter. You know,
1 second,
certain
Auntie.
certain things we were still responsible for. And then the craziest thing that I didn't know about is when I sold my first house, he had a lien. And when I sold my house, even though I was never on any of his credit, all his credit was on him. I sold my house. I had to pay off one of his liens because we were married. And a lot of times people think just because your name isn't on anything that belongs to your spouse, if you're married, that debt becomes yours.
That's
So when I
another thing. Be careful with that. Yes. Be careful
yeah,
with who you trust to put married or not. Who you decide to go into, cahoots with your credit.
yeah.
Yes.
And
Buying
it will
things.
really also be careful who you like let's say you have somebody that you make them your or they make you or you make them a friend of mine. They always say, "Hey, if you want to," it was a business thing. So in business, we had a card together. So
Oh
she was the
yeah.
top. She was the top person. I was the second person. When she filed bankruptcy, that bounced over to my TRW.
Oh no.
So you got to be careful. Like when even as a parent, if you add your kid to your
As an
like
authorized user, yeah.
as an authorized user, and you don't pay off that card, if they ever try to get credit, that
Take
sits
them
on
off.
their
Yeah,
take them
take them
off.
off before you do anything stupid.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, because it reflects on them just as bad as it reflects on you.
It does, and if you
Hmm.
don't a lot of times you don't really know that, so you're not really thinking. So
Yeah, that's true.
these are tips that you need to know because you not intentionally you will mess up their credit before they even know they had credit.
So I would say, I would put them as an authorized. I wouldn't put them as a legal, like a legal liability on the card, like a co-signer, like a co-applicant. I would just add them as an authorized user because just in case something were to happen down the line, you can easily remove that authorized user. It will stop. It will freeze right when you know you're going to miss a payment or something like that. Take the whoever you have as an authorized user off of your card because
Yeah,
yeah, your kids and all, yeah, because
yeah,
it's
because
easy to
kids
remove it. It'll freeze at
yeah,
that.
they get older and get their TRW, then they get mad at you. Like, so yeah, it is easy to take them off as an authorized user. Very simple.
Hmm.
I mean, because we all want to give our kid a card just in case something happens. But if you know
True.
you just lost your job or you're in financial dire, make sure you go right in and take them off because you will mess up their
Hmm.
credit.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, so make sure that you do that. These are things that you need. Keep them in your wheelhouse. So, and another thing that I was talking to Tasha about earlier today, today or yesterday, we were on the phone. One of them day, it wasn't
Oh.
today, it was the other day. When a lot of these things that they sell you on, and this is what I was talking to you about that really got me messed up is when they have these companies that sell you on the dream, on the pipe dream, like you got all these credit cards, let us and G-Lew, you can find this video. You can we'll help consolidate all your bills. And I was telling you like we'll take all your credit cards and we'll talk to the credit companies and we'll help you out. And I was telling Tasha that
Liars. Mm. Look at this guy.
he's like, don't do that. What he say? That's her husband. They will mess up your credit when they tell you that they're going to help you pay off and
Yes,
negotiate with credit card companies and help you pay them off, with a lower rate and you don't have to pay
liars.
off. Yeah. And I was telling her I did this because I had the first time I was canceling cards, and I have a lot of credit cards. I didn't
That
nip and
sounds
down,
good. Yeah.
and it sounds wonderful. But the minute I saw my credit score start dropping, I realized they're not paying off your credit cards. What they do is they make sure that your credit score. What they do is they don't pay your credit cards off so that they can make sure you're delinquent so that they can now negotiate a
Yes.
deal.
Yes. You're so smart, Auntie. That's
So me,
exactly what they do.
I messed it all up. I started paying my credit cards. Like, what are you doing?
And I tell people that all the time when I talk to them on the phone, they don't believe me. They're like, no, we're gonna just go ahead and stick with them. Like, see, that's crazy. That's exactly what they do.
Yeah, and if you found that video, G-Lew, just play it for us because a lot of people really believe in them. Like, no, I paid
They
them a
do.
certain amount every month, and they're going to take care of my credit. And they'll tell you your credit may dip a little bit, but don't worry, we're going to get it back on track.
When you go to a
Oh,
consolidation company, lenders are going to look at your credit the same as if you filed a Chapter 13 because they're doing the same thing. They're saying basically you can't manage your own debt, so you've come to a debt consolidation company, and now you have these people who are taking over your debt. So the debt consolidation company is now taking over your debt, and they've arranged for you to pay every month, just like if you were doing a Chapter 13 bankruptcy. So it doesn't look good. Another thing with these debt consolidation companies, more times than not, they'll end up making some of your payments late, or they'll make them late in order to get your debtors to negotiate a lower amount, and then that F's off your credit as well. So now you just enclose all your credit cards, which your credit cards are 30% of your credit picture. So now you no longer have your credit cards. And so now those are closed, those are late. Now you effed off your credit. And now you have a third party that you're paying that's taking care of your debt, which makes you look irresponsible.
That is so 100% honest.
man. And that's the sad part because you put a lot of trust in these people and you think, oh, I can finally sit back and relax and not have to worry about it anymore. But like she said, you might as well just file bankruptcy.
You might as well, because they're not paid. You're paying them and you're paying us, and then they're not even paying us. So, and most of the times they're trying to just get you to settle your account. You're paying them money in a pot and they're settling with us for pennies on the dollar. And you don't even know that. You're paying two people. You could just pay one person. Our filing bankruptcy. You might as well.
Oh yeah, because you're really messing up your credit and trying to get them back. Trying to get your credit built back up is so much harder than just negotiating and trying to get these credit cards off. And like Tasha said earlier, just make the minimum payment on one card and then pay off one at a time and get them down. It's a total love grace, total scam. So I know we got some people in here. The Unfadable, what's up, my guy? Hey, Junkin
That's
Shan,
true. You
Junkin
think you're
Shan,
getting
I
help
got
or
to
not?
with you. I want to read some of these comments. Keisha said, "You might as well ask them if they are millionaires, Monty." Oh, she's talking to Monica. I started reading some of the comments in their personal conversations. Um, and it's like having no credit just as bad as bad credit. Well, actually, no credit is actually better than bad
It's
credit.
better. They lie about that.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's better because when you walk in with no credit, then they feel like, well, let me see if I'll trust them with like a little bit of credit to help them get started.
Exactly. Right. They'll give you a
Yeah.
chance, opportunity.
Yeah, when you have bad credit, they're looking at you
It's a
like, I don't
straight
know why you
no.
walked in here.
It's a
You know,
straight
wasting your
no.
time. Hey,
No.
cheers, dear love. I got my coffee. Yeah, you're wasting your time with bad credit. Or what they'll do is you have a high deposit and a high interest, and you'll be paying that interest off for years before you ever
For
get to
years
touch it.
before you even touch that payment, that principal. Yes. People don't
Yeah.
understand that. Look at that interest rate. When you think that your credit's not A1 and you go apply for something, or look at that interest rate. Times that interest rate times what you're going to be paying. It's ridiculous. 7,000 one thing I got into, I think my interest rate was 19%. I didn't check. I
Yeah.
was paying my car, which was 20 something thousand, plus that deposit I put down $6,000, plus 7,000 extra in interest.
Yeah.
So half of my car note, I was paying a $400 some car note. Half of that was going towards interest. Only half of it was going towards the car, the principal.
Yeah. And they'll break it all
Hmm.
down to you on that top
If you
box.
read it, yeah,
It
if you
tells
read it,
you this is what the car costs. This is your interest rate,
yeah.
and
But we don't read it.
it'll
We'd
break
be so
down.
happy.
I tell people all the time, if what they tell our people, I tell my people all the time, they put it in writing for you, but you're not going to read it, so you're never going to know what's going on in your world because you just sign everything. You don't read anything. If you want any type of information, it's in writing. Read it. It's right
Hmm.
there. And they'll tell you exactly how much that they charged you. And if you try to take them to court, they bring the contract and say, I told
They
them.
sure will.
They just didn't read it. So,
Yeah.
and it breaks it all down to you. And you have to remember the interest rate. They say, oh, all the interest rate is really high for everybody. No, it's not high for everybody because if you have good
It's
credit,
not.
my one son be paying he gets a new car, I swear, almost every year. And his interest rate is like nothing because his
Yep.
credit is so well. I'm like, every year you have a new car. And he's been having a new car through both these darn presidents. Every time I
That's
turn
my
around,
little
that boy got
brother.
a new car.
Better to wait. It's better to wait before you buy anything. It's better to wait and get yourself on track before you put yourself in something like that. You know?
Yeah, I'm telling you. Going through some of these comments, when you think you're getting help, you're not. Oh no, those companies, it's a big scam. And I'm gonna show one video with this lady we have where she scammed everybody. She ended up going to jail. So hey,
Mm.
Randy, nice to see you, love. So, I only borrow money from people with with bad memories.
That's smart.
Well, that would be me, then. I be loaded. Look, you know what? I would say, don't borrow money you don't need.
True.
And if you borrow money, always check that interest rate because sometimes you got double interest on things. Like when and don't
Hmm.
anyone that owns a house, don't take money out your house. Don't take
I
money
know
out
about
your
that one.
house. Don't take money out your retirement. A lot of things people don't realize, even if like you don't have money to put into your retirement right now, because sometimes money right now, money is funny for a lot of people. Like I haven't put money in Eric's college fund since the boy decided not to go to college. But he went to culinary school. He was in college, and then that pandemic hit, and that boy was like, "I can't do online school." But that
Yeah.
his college fund continues to grow without me putting anything in it. So don't touch it. If you don't have money to put in your retirement or your Roth or your IRAs, but it's just sitting there, don't take from it because it just still continues to grow while it just sits there. So I tell people, I was talking to somebody today, and I was like, all these people that have to work until they're 70 because they decided to take money out their retirement because their daughter was getting married. Now you're stuck at work because now you
Oh
got to
wow.
pay that back. So don't touch it. Don't touch your IRA. Like I have CDs, I got stocks, I got Ross. And sometimes it gets hard. I'll be like, yeah, I can't put into it this month, but it's still growing. A lot of times
Okay.
they're like, times are hard. Take money. My husband gets all kinds of notices to take money out of his house. He's like, I'm not taking nothing out this house. That's a savings account. Don't do it. I know times are rough. He said, well, I'm gonna take some money out my house so I can pay off my credit cards. Why? Don't do that because it's earning that interest. And you got to be careful because there's a lot of scams out there telling you to reverse mortgage your house. Don't do none of that. Leave that money sitting there. Let that money just grow.
If they're getting
Yeah,
something out of it. Trust.
yeah, you will. So you
Those
can build
companies.
with no credit. Yeah, and
Mhm.
sometimes it's true. Like Love Grace said, if you can't afford it right now in cash, don't. They say right now that the credit cards are out of control. Everyone is using their credit cards right now because times are hard. If you can't afford it, don't use your credit card. You
I see
know.
some crazy amounts. People who've had credit cards since like 1996, always on time, and all of a sudden, the last few years, $20,000 in debt, $30,000 in debt, making $100 payments, like it's crazy. That's
Yeah,
true.
because they're looking at the economy right now and they're trying to keep living the lifestyle that they were living 4 and 5 years ago, or even 3 years ago. When did we have the
A few
pandemic?
years ago. Yeah.
A few years ago. And instead of tightening their belt because that pandemic hit, they're trying to live on that same lifestyle. And you have to make changes. Me and the husband both worked and made excellent money. He retired. I'm now on medical. You need to cut back. And you need to say, okay, this is the kind of money. Learn how to budget and say that card is for an emergency or that card is because I'm about to. I still do vacations and things like that. So that's when I use this card. Other than that, I need to scale back. So I'm maybe before I used to use craft and now I have to use store brand because my girl
Exactly.
she introduced me to Aldi's. I was like, Aldi's, okay, I love this store. Buy bonds, buy Ralph's, hello Aldi. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Learn how to adjust, and if you used to make this amount of money, learn how to adjust and leave those credit cards alone. Because that if you're trying to stay living in the lifestyle you used to live in, you might want to be careful. Because yeah, I saw that also that the credit card debt is out of control over the last 2 years. Cut back, live within your means. Like I said, if you used to use Kraft and you used to eat Oreos, you better start eating Cookie. They basically taste the same. I'm
That's
sorry.
true though.
I never. I raised 5 kids and had to do it on a budget, so I know
Yeah,
how to
I
scale
I, I
back.
have 5 too, until you already know. I
And we had
understand.
when you were there, we had like what 8 kids in the house.
We had all of us. We budgeted. We had yeah. When I got there, I was like, oh, this is cool. This is cool.
We learned
This
how to
is
make those
different.
meals that stretch. Nobody was hungry. We all
We
knew
live
how to
good
eat,
though. We live good. We had a nice house. We all stayed in there. Hey, it
and we
was
knew
it
how to
was
shop for everybody. School
yeah. You
clothes, food.
did.
We
Yes.
were just on me and Auntie Lloyd's budget. We knew how to scale. Nothing that we never came home and the lights was off, and y'all didn't
We
run
never
around.
not needed anything. Yeah. Exactly.
So you need to learn how to scale. G-Lew, play that last video. I know our time. I hope we gave a lot of information. I know it's a lot more I wanted to add. After we play this video, we're going to teach you how to have good credit.
Harris County Precinct 4
So,
investigators say they have uncovered a $3 million credit repair scheme happening here in Houston. They say the woman behind it was using falsified police reports to help get her clients better credit. Janelle Bluta has a look at the allegations.
In handcuffs and an orange jumpsuit, 29-year-old Rokisha Brisby was led in front of a judge today.
More and more folks are coming forward that have used her to try to fix their credit.
After being arrested Friday for what investigators call a multi-million-dollar credit repair scheme.
She went and basically would manipulate police reports.
Court documents linked to Brisby's social media. Her website says your credit won't fix itself.
She used my front page of the police report with my name on it.
But Precinct 4 Constable Mark Herman says it was under the guise of that business, Rose Credit Repair, where he says she would commit illegal activity, falsifying police reports to increase her clients' credit scores.
Well, she submitted police reports on these folks' behalf saying that the monies that were spent were fraud or stolen, and this is the police report to prove it.
An alleged scheme, the constable says, actually worked.
Many of these financial institutions basically reversed the credit for these people, and it did make their credit scores, better because they had a police report on file.
Until Herman says one of those institutions reached out to his office with questions.
We noticed that the case numbers did not correspond with our current case number system.
He says that led to a lengthy investigation where they discovered 133 falsified police reports from his department alone. And Herman says there's evidence she used reports from other agencies as well.
FBI is involved with us. We flagged many of her bank accounts, and we'll be able to see exactly how much money she made off customers.
Dang, that's crazy.
having to laugh. But you know
I
what?
didn't hear about her. Wish I'd have known.
It resonated with me because I actually lost my wallet and had
Hmm.
to turn in a police report to the credit. I was on my way to Vegas. Oh my gosh! I swear my computer freezes every time I hit the end of my show. Never fails. I even tried to change my Wi-Fi so it wouldn't happen, but I had to
Hmm.
turn in a police report on my way to Vegas.
Cut out, Auntie.
Gosh darn it! I swear.
You're back.
Am I back? Okay.
Yeah, you're
So
back.
I had to turn in a police report to all the credit card companies. So this really resonated with me, and it really did fix, anyone that used my card. So, and after that, anytime someone tried to, because it was that crazy. So when I saw this story, I was like, wow, you know how many people go to these kind of people to have their credit fixed, and she's fixing it illegally with police
Right.
reports.
Right.
That was crazy to
I've
me.
never heard of that. Like, I wish I would have known that. She could have helped me back then. Yeah, that's crazy. Okay. You're cut out again, Auntie.
Okay, I swear it never fails at every show at the end of the hour.
You look clear now.
Yeah, I hopped on my iPad, but it doesn't. Like my internet says, yeah, it's been an hour. It's time for you to get off your show. Uh, so, but yeah, so now it's gonna like get my closet, everything. My iPad's camera
This
so
looks
different.
good.
So
Hmm.
yeah, look, I'm trying not to put my wedding picture in there. Lord have mercy. Okay, so
You look clear now.
maybe I'll. Okay, that's better. Okay, so no, it's not because I have on the dress under this. I flash people every time; it never fails.
It's under.
Okay,
Oh wow. Hmm.
but I hopped on as fast as I could.
Hmm.
Um, but it doesn't. I swear I'm gonna have to take my show to 45 minutes because that's about as long as my internet gives. So, but I wanted to real quick. We're gonna end the show with tips to having great credit on here. Oh wait, I know. Wait, I forgot to turn my TV down. There we go. I know G-Lew was like, if you don't get that echo out, okay. So, real quick, if you want to throw out some tips on good credit, and I will follow you up.
Yeah, of course. I would say keeping your credit card usage under 10%, depending on your limit. Always paying that. Sometimes now it's better to pay it back in full as you use it every single month. Keep it under 10%, pay it back in full. Sometimes if you do use a little bit more, pay it make multiple payments that month. Um, Also just paying on time. No matter what, even if it's the minimum, paying on time. If you can't pay it in full, pay it on time.
That's what I was gonna say, and it's okay. Like if you have 3 or 4 cards, to show that you have a lot of revolving credit, but only
Hmm.
probably use one. Or
Yes.
like rotate them every month so that you're only using that one because you want to have a lot of available credit. The best thing to make your
Yes.
credit score go high is to have a lot of revolving credit, but you don't use them.
Use it.
That's a mistake
Hmm.
people use is like, oh, because I had a lot of credit cards. I didn't use them all. We after the pandemic, I had to try to help my son. He lost his job because he wouldn't, so I helped him out,
Hmm.
and then that's when my credit started having its fluctuations. Like, well, when did
It will
that start
fluctuate.
happening?
Yes.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah, but make sure that you have a lot of revolving credit. And I can't see the comments right now because I'm on my iPad, so I don't know what's being said. But keep the revolving debt high. Make sure you have a high. Like, let's say if you have 3 cars and they all give you 10,000, maybe I'm exaggerating, $5,000 worth of credit. Make sure you keep your usage under a less than 700 because that'll
Yes.
give you a higher credit rating. And you make sure you
Hmm.
pay, like she said, pay on time every month because that's what they're going to look at. That your payment history is on time every month.
Every
So
month.
yeah. And if your credit score is shaky right now, go on get you Credit Karma, which is free. Check it every month. They'll tell you every time that it's updated and start disputing things. They have a form on there. Dispute everything, even if it's yours. Dispute it because the credit companies have 30 days to respond, and sometimes they're so busy
We
they
don't
forget to,
respond.
and then they'll take it
Hmm.
off. So
They sure
go
will.
through it and dispute everything. If they come back and say that it's yours, then try to make arrangements to get it paid off. Because once you get it paid off, it'll raise your credit score. So, with my internet being so funky, I have T-Mobile internet. Maybe I need to change it.
I love T-Mobile.
Me
Hmm.
too. But it just seems whenever I go live, I only get an hour, and then it says that's your hour. I think G-Lew is cutting my internet off. Saying
The comment says, she said, because it says time up.
it's telling me that's what I said.
What's her
It
name?
says,
Keisha.
oh, Keisha, I'm telling you, Keisha, an
Keisha.
hour every time it freezes. Say, girl, that's your hour.
She funny.
Oh, Keisha is
I
hilarious.
like her. Hmm.
But that is our hour. I hope we gave you some fundamental information. Maybe I'll find Credit Karma's and put it in the comments for you guys. But that's what I have, Credit Karma, and it alerts me like if my credit score goes down, or I'm normally not late on anything, but if it goes up, it goes down, I get a notice. So all the time, if somebody, and also if somebody tries to take out a credit card in your name, Credit Karma will say, "Did you apply for this credit card?"
Yes, exactly. They give you a heads up
So
immediately. Hmm.
it does, because somebody tried to take out a credit card in my name, and I said, "Say what now?" And I was able to get that taken off. So thank you, sweetheart, for joining us tonight. And, I'll put Tasha's information in the comments also, because this is what she does. If there's some questions that you have for her and that you want to ask, I'll put her information, not her phone number, guys.
Hmm.
Don't be DMing my niece nothing crazy. Just questions on
Hmm.
credit that she could help you with. I'll put her Instagram in the comments so that you can hit her up, ask her any questions. If there's anything, you guys know my information that you want to know, just hit us up. If you missed last night's interview, go back and check that out. It was pretty good. Hey, I was on Convicted Hearts. Go check me out on Convicted Hearts. Make sure you follow Jen. Her show's amazing. And she had a special live up today. I was trying to watch it, but I had a lot of distractions. And then don't miss Oldie's Rule Forever tomorrow. G, go ahead and drop that video for my iPad falls again. This one can't break. I just got this. Okay, you guys, thank you so much for joining us, hanging out with us. I appreciate it. We are back. Um, I'll be back next week. And then the week after that, we have G-Lew's concert on the 28th. Make sure you got your tickets. You join us. That's going to be a whole lot of fun. So we'll be back next week. I think we have our music show next week. Make sure you join us tomorrow. Don't miss that concert on the 28th. I'll put how to get tickets in the comments as well. Oh, thank you, Keisha. And I'll put Tasha's information also. And night, little cuzzo. I will see you guys tomorrow. Oldies rule forever. See you guys tomorrow. Peace.